Hello 7th grade. Welcome back to reading and to our third week of online learning, which seems crazy, but here we are. Alright, so today in reading, what we're going to do is learn about fact, opinion, and diction. Now, fact and opinion you guys are already very familiar with, but diction is what we're going to try and focus on more today. This is our reading workshop for Rattlesnake Hunt, which is going to be our next story that we read, written by Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. Alright. So fact versus opinion. A fact, of course, is a true statement. An opinion, though, is a judgment or a belief. Hopefully, in most cases, our opinions are based on a fact, but they might just be based on our personality and what we prefer. Some believe, unfortunately, that their opinion is fact. I wonder if you've met somebody like this, who is so sure that what they believe is true that they won't accept any criticism from anyone who disagrees. They might say stuff like, hot weather is better than cold weather, orange is a terrible color, and if you disagree with them and you say, well, I like cold weather because then you can always add layers, they'll shoot you down and say, sorry, but that's a lie and you're wrong. These people are not very pleasant to be around, nor is their writing very pleasant to read. Alright, on the other hand, some people believe that facts are opinions. So let me give you the best example I could think of for this. Someone who is like this might say, you think the earth is round? That's just an opinion. So we know the earth is round. That's a fact, based on a lot of really good evidence. But some people disagree with that for whatever reason, and so they write this fact off as an opinion. Alright. Opinions can often create disagreements. But opinions are how we discover who somebody is. They reveal our personality, our preferences, and you'll find that when you're talking to someone and trying to get to know them, often what you're doing is trying to figure out what their opinions on different things are. So, if you are talking with somebody and you find out that they have the same favorite color as you, then that would be an opinion that you both share that would make you want to be friends with one another. Alright, as we read in everyday life, it's super important to see through false facts. Unfortunately, there are a lot of those out there. Some authors or other content creators will give us bad information, claiming it's bad on facts. Based on facts. Unfortunately, a lot of life hack videos do this. They give us bad information, but make it look like all these little tricks will work. I would like you right now to, in the list I'm about to show you, try to find the true fact. So, here's one. The ocean is blue because it's reflecting the sky, a tomato is a fruit, and tilting your head back can stop a nosebleed. Which one of these is the true one? Two of them are false. One of them is true. I'd like you to open up a new tab in your browser up at the top and do a little bit of research about these three supposed facts, and then go ahead and answer the question as to which one is true. Alright, if you answered a tomato is a fruit, then you were right. So for this top one, when we look at something, we see color because we see the color of light that's reflected by an object. Light comes from the sun or light bulbs, and the light that comes from there is white light. When that white light comes down, it contains red, orange, yellow, blue, green, purple, indigo, all of the colors of light in it. And when it hits an object, like let's say it hits a leaf, when it hits the leaf absorbs all the colors of the rainbow in that white light except for green, and it reflects the green back into our eyeballs. So that's what we see. The same thing happens here with the ocean. The white light from the sun comes down, hits the ocean, the red, orange, yellow, green, purple, all gets absorbed into the ocean, but the blue gets shot back and reflected into our eyes. So I thought that was really interesting. Okay, tilting your head back and stop a nosebleed. Maybe as you were researching you found out this can actually cause some issues because some of the blood can trickle into your esophagus and make you cough, and that's not very good. So, a tomato is a fruit. If you are ever reading something and you're not sure about the facts, make sure you research them. Google is a great resource that we have that can uncover some misinformation pretty quick. All right, let's talk about diction. So diction is an author's style of writing. Everybody has their own diction. You can tell what an author's style is by the words they use. We each have our own unique diction, and we have our own unique diction for each unique type of writing we do. So like maybe you're going to be writing a paper for English. Your diction, your style, is going to be different than the style you use when you send a text message to a friend. There are hundreds of different styles that we could go through, but some basic ones are listed here. Formal, informal, funny, serious, and so on and so on. We will go over a few of these right now. So, styles can be formal or informal. Formal means proper, fancy, professional. This is what you would write what you would use when you're writing a paper. Informal, remember if you have in front of a word, that means not. So not formal, it would be casual, improper, unprofessional. This is what you would use when you're talking to a friend or writing a text. So if someone said, hey, throw me that burger, that's probably going to be informal. If they said, pardon me, would you please pass me that hamburger? That's more formal because it's more polite and professional and fancy. A good way to think about it is formal is the way you would speak to the Queen of England. Informal is the way you would speak to your best friend. All right. Scared versus appreciative. So an author's diction or their style could show that they're scared of something or that they appreciate it. So if they are using a scared diction, then they describe something with threatening words that have a negative connotation. Remember, if something has a negative connotation, it makes us feel bad on the inside. So maybe they would write, I shuddered at the violent, crashing waves of the ocean. Shuddered, violent, crashing, those are all negative words that don't make us feel great inside and make it seem like this person is very afraid of the ocean. Appreciative or respectful. This is when the author describes something with respectful words that have a positive connotation. And remember, positive connotation, that means that the word makes us feel good on the inside. So they might write, I marveled at the strong, majestic waves of the ocean. Marveled is like being amazed at something. Strong and majestic, compared to violent and crashing, these words are a lot better. So the person down here really appreciates the ocean. The person up here is very scared of it. These two are going to come into play in our story about rattlesnake hunting. Okay, let's move on. So I'm going to read you a short excerpt or a short portion of that story right now. And I'm going to point out a few ways that diction gets used and facts and opinion get used. So this story, some background information to know is that this story is about someone who is learning about hunting snakes. And so that's where we start, right here. I hope never in my life to be so frightened as I was in those first few hours. I kept on Ross's footsteps. I moved when he moved, sometimes jolting into him when I thought he might leave me behind. He does not use the forked stick of conventional snake hunting, but a steel prong shaped like an L at the end of a long stick. So this section right down here is where we're going to look at style or diction. The author knows that we, the readers, might not really know much about snake hunting. I personally have never hunted a snake. So her diction here is very casual and simple. She says stuff like steel prong, shaped like an L, long stick. I can visualize what all those things are. If she said the fancy official name for this, I'd be totally lost. So that's one way that diction can be really helpful. Alright, let's move on. He hunted casually, calling my attention to the varying vegetation, to hawks overhead, to a pair of the rare whooping cranes that flapped over us. In mid-morning, he stopped short, dropped his stick, and brought up a 5-foot rattlesnake draped limply over the steel L. Okay, it seemed to me that I should drop in my tracks. They're not active at this season, he said quietly. A snake takes on the temperature of its surroundings. They can't stand too much heat for that reason, and when the weather is cool, as now, they're sluggish. Okay, so let's look right here. they're not active at this season, and the words that come after it. This is a moment where facts are being used. And at this point, the author uses those facts to make the snakes seem less intimidating to us, the readers. One of my favorite things about learning in general is that as we learn more information, the world around us, or the things that we are learning about, become a little less scary and complicated. And that is used really well in this moment here and throughout the story. Alright, that's the end of what I'll be reading to you guys. Tomorrow we're going to be reading the whole story, Rattlesnake Hunt, and we're going to look at its diction, its facts, and its opinions in the comprehension questions. So, thanks for joining me today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.